in terms of Armon, man, we did sign him. Was that last night? Was it last night? Or was it this morning? It was like last night. It's like 9 o'clock, right? 9, 10 o'clock? I feel like it was last night.
I think it was.
Or was it yesterday night?
2 nights ago.
2 nights ago. Yeah.
It was 2 nights ago. Yep, Monday night.
That's what it was. Yeah, I knew it was one of them nights, man. Yeah, so we signed him Monday night to a 1-year deal. And a little bit about Armon. Let's see. Came into the NFL, what was that, 2019? Yeah, 2019 out of Arkansas, if I remember correctly, right? Yes, Arkansas. Yep. So came in at a 6th-round draft pick, the Minnesota Vikings. Played up there for the first 3 years, and then he just spent his last year in Chicago. Some of the things in terms of his numbers. Started, 10 games total in his time in Minnesota. 9 of those came in his final season, but played 17 games played 7 games his first season, 16 games his second season in Minnesota, and then 17 games in his final season there. And then last year in Chicago, played in 17 games, but started 12 of those. And in terms of his numbers, last year ended with 35 tackles, had a sack. The year prior to that, 46 tackles, 5 sacks. On his career, though, 125 tackles, 8 of those being sacks, 7 total tackles for loss and stuff like that. In terms of when I watch him on tape, I like his game, man. I think that he does provide some versatility in the interior D-line. Gives you some nose guard or nose tackle potential as well, but he also has a little bit of versatility where he could bump out and play a little bit of that one technique. And at times they've played him as a 3. I don't necessarily like him in that type of space. I think that when you're asking him to have to play a little bit more in space and do more of the lateral movement, covering from that A and trying to get out there on some of these stretching plays to the sideline, that's where he struggles at. But when you're watching him in the nose technique, or if you're watching him slightly shaded or in a gap, like in that A gap, and he's able to just go and be a penetrator, I think that he is really good there. His hand placement is good. Get off is good. Definitely want to be more consistent. But to me, the closer he is to the ball, the better player he is. The further you get him away, that's when he's going to start going down in terms of productivity and just in terms of what you want to see from him, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. And some of the highlights, some of the good tape that I've seen float out there on social media was him. You're right over the ball. Mm-hmm. Very disruptive in the middle. I feel like this is just a depth signing. A guy to be kind of the backup for Hayward, Ogunjobi. Maybe he can compete with Fehoko, some of these other backup defensive linemen. Nothing wrong with it, too, because he's still relatively young.
Yeah, he was, 26?
Has experience, has starting experience.
Yeah, 26
has played
years
good
old.
at times. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah. It's just going to be like another vet minimum contract. Yeah. We're just building up the trenches a little bit, just bringing in that depth.
Yeah. Or 26, he'll be 27 in July. So, yeah, shout out to that. But, yeah, I'm with you, though, man. He has started in this league, but at the same time, he's been a rotational guy in this league. He has some positional flexibility. Is he good enough that if he was our starter for a game or two, we would be okay? I believe that is the case. Would you want him to be your 17-game starter? Me personally, probably not. But that's also me seeing him in other defenses, other schemes, not specifically our scheme and what we would be asking him to do, because we're not going to ask him per se to play a ton of nickel for us, because we got guys like Cam Hayward, guys like Larry Ogunjobi, guys like DeMarvin Leal, who are designed to rush the passer, who are designed to play a little bit more in space. They're a little bit more rangier when you're talking about cutoff blocks and how they're able to chase down stuff from the backside. That's what they bring. But if you're looking at Armon, you're asking him to play the base stuff, I think you could get away with him as one of your guys if he's the starting at nose tackle or something like that. I think you could in that vein, because it's going to be a condensed amount of reps that he's playing, and what you're going to be asking him to do lined directly over that ball is going to be more his wheelhouse. And I think that's, what you want to see from him versus, like I said, we playing him in a ton of that nickel stuff.
We're starting to build a little Vikings pipeline here.
Bro, we low-key are, right?
Pat
What's
P,
our connection up there?
Mason Cole. Now
what's
this
the connection up there, man? Who do we know in Minnesota?
I don't know. The Eagles one we understand.
Coach Tomlin.
With Weidl.
It's Coach Tomlin.
You think?
He was
up there. He was the DC.
Yeah, he was up there for that. Yeah. That's the connection.
Even if there's still no people up there that he's familiar with.
Well, no. It's always people he's familiar with. They were just young back then. Now they
okay.
Yeah, they were like GAs and assistants and like go get the coffee guys, and now they wear the suits and the ties, and they make the decisions, send people to go get coffee. Circle of life. Yeah. It's real though, man.
Yeah, even that dude. Remember that O lineman we picked up last year, Jesse Davis.
Yeah, absolutely.
Vikings
We for
connect.
a fact got a Minnesota connection, bro. Whoa, how did we not realize this?
This was the one. This was the alert. This one's the one that got me.
Pipeline right now, bro. That is wild. I do like the trenches though. It's another one of those things when you're talking about taking a need and just making it smaller and smaller. I do feel like this is another one of those things where, once again, we knew based on the moves that we had made prior to the Armon Watts signing that we could go D-line in this draft, or we could chill on it in terms of the early portion of it. But we said that it's still something that we would still probably like to look into. With this move, I feel like it, once again, just alleviates that pressure of, we have to get this dude. We have to hit on the nose. We have to hit on the interior D lineman right now, because you still have a dude that has started 12 games just last season. You're not starting 12 games at this level if you're not capable of at least playing to some extent. Heck, even when we talk about Kendrick Green, it's like, bro, was it some moments where you're like, bro, you're so undersized, it's hurting? Yes. But when you talk about him playing over that 17-game span, he did not get killed every single time he snapped the ball. And that's the part where we're like, yeah, that's still quality snaps. Now, it's not saying that you want to live with that going forward, and that's why you want to dial back some of those starts, and obviously we did do that. But that's kind of how I look at Armon Watts. It's like, man, this dude has at least shown enough that he can get you out of a stadium. He can get you out of a game. And that's what you're looking for when you're talking about these type of signings, the type of depth and stuff like that.